First things first, actually, let's Eddie Redmayne. Tell us about Eddie.
Well, the fact that we got Eddie to do some original VO for the game was incredible. It's a particularly sore spot with me because I didn't get to go to that voice recording session, and two of my team ended up going because I was actually in the States at the time. So I was a little bit miffed about that one. That was a highlight I was really looking forward to. But having listened to the VO, it's incredible, and it kind of rubber stamps the Fantastic Beasts pack. It adds that level of authenticity that really ensures that people that go and see the movie, when they come to Dimensions, they're in that world. We've immersed them. Granted, you're going to be able to take all these other great toys in with you, but it is an authentic and fun experience that people are going to love.
Yeah, because you did get to meet him. I saw the picture on Twitter. So
that Will and Joe went down to that one, and he absolutely engaged in it. Absolutely loved the fact that he was going to be Lego-fied and brought to life in a whole new way. So not only is he bringing that character to life on the big screen, but also on the small screen. So it's really, really good.
And had he played any of the Lego games at all?
And he was actually again. I was busy with something else at work, but at the premiere in New York, we had the game there for fans to play, and he stopped by, and he had a go playing himself. So it's really good seeing people kind of fall in love with what we make, because obviously we're doing our whimsical, fun and exciting sort of takes on what they do on the big screen.
And what's the best reaction you've had so far from somebody who's been kind of Lego-fied?
I think it's really great. Dan, the actor that plays Jacob in the movie, he's actually changed his profile pic on Twitter to be the Lego version. So I think that just kind of says that he probably prefers his Lego interpretation than his own sort of persona. But it's great. Every time that we sort of take a real life person and kind of Lego-fy them, I think it's something special being brought to life in that plastic. Kind of really sort of, I don't know, I guess I'd love it if I got to become a minifigure, but seeing people's reactions is the best thing. We had the same with Simon Pegg when his character from Mission Impossible was brought to life, and it's just that excitement of look at me, I'm a minifigure, and it's really, really cool to see.
And do you find that now that you're getting people like Eddie Redmayne to do voiceover and things like that, because obviously back in the early days of Traveller's Tales it was just kind of generic noises, and then you got parts of voiceovers from the films, and now you're actually getting the people turning up. Do you find that a big validation of what it is you're doing?
Yeah, definitely. We sometimes sit there and we throw ideas around of wouldn't it be great if Chris Pratt voiced someone in one of our games, and then that does happen, and you're like, this is really cool. And the team that worked on the Force Awakens, they had it. Wouldn't it be great if Harrison Ford played Han Solo, and then they got Harrison Ford to do it. So I think it is a true sort of testament to the sort of authenticity and the worlds we create, that these actors really do want to get involved and bring these sort of characters to life. We love it. We love everything about what we do, and there's a number of times we're writing down ideas on a bit of paper. Wouldn't it be great if this character came in? Wouldn't it be great if that character came in? Wouldn't it be great if the guy that voiced Kit came in to voice Kit for us? And it is really, really good fun, and I think when people actually play the games, they actually appreciate that. It was great having the whole shrugs and ers and ahs back in the day of the silent Lego games, but I think it does just add that layer of authenticity, and we are all about fun and authenticity with our games.
And now going back and visiting some of the older films like Back to the Future, I see E.T., and I also hear from a next point of view, famous Goonies, because I'm from HeyUGuys, which is a fabulous Goonies site, so they're coming at some point. How do you go back and do some of those? Would you get original voices? What are the plans?
Well, depending on what property it is, depends on sort of who will approach and who will ask. So unfortunately, when you're going back to movies that are 25, 30 years old, unfortunately some of these actors may no longer be with us. So you're kind of forced, and you have to look to recast. but where we can, we stay loyal and authentic. Goonies pack in particular, we are recasting because, you know, you can't really, you know, again, some of those actors aren't with us, but, you know, to really capture the magic of what we want to do, we are looking to sort of like recast characters in there, and we will make sure that they're really great and they really bring to life the characters in the same way that the movie did, but at the same time we'll be able to then write stuff that, you know, allows more scope with the gameplay. We're not kind of hamstrung in a way. So each pack gets kind of, I guess, a different take on it. We look at how we can do things. Mission Impossible, for example, you know, we had movie stems from Tom Cruise, so we you know, thankfully there's a lot of movies to pick from. So we went through really sort of making sure we had the great sort of VO that we can get. But every pack we pick and choose, you know. For Fantastic Beasts, as well as Eddie Redmayne, we had Ron Perlman come in, he plays a character called Narlac. But we already had him on board with Dimensions anyway, because he plays a character in Adventure Time. So again, a lot of these people will, when they see what we're kind of bringing to life, they really want to get involved. You know, some of them have kids, and for them it's a great way of kind of bridging that gap. I remember I actually watched an interview, it was on some American chat show, and there was a guy that was on there saying, you know, I've won Oscars and I've done this movie and that movie and the other movie, but now I'm cool with my kids because I'm a Lego minifigure. But until that point, not cool at all. So, you know, and that I suppose, you know, it's that sort of bridging the gap. Yeah, you can be in all these movies, but if you're in something that you know, your child or kids can see and appreciate, it does make you some sort of kind of cool superhero, you know, whatever you may think.
Yeah, and I know that you play your games with your daughter, and have you found that as she's grown up, her taste in films has changed? Have you got new ideas from that as to what should come next?
I always you know, I don't tell Lil that my success is down to her, but yes, I do like to like pick into her imagination and her brain, and you know, she's been, I think, through my entire, you know, career, while she's been around from the age of 3 on Lego Batman 1, you know, through to now, she's a constant source of inspiration for me. And you know, it's great seeing her reactions to things, and it's great also having her kind of help me kind of think if something is or isn't cool. I think, you know, she's 13 now, she's become a teenager, she's probably not like in the right window anymore, but you know, she still enjoys what we do. She still loves going to Comic-Con. She still loves, she'll never admit to it, but she still loves playing our games, and it's great. And a lot of people in the office have got kids that engage with our games, and we like to bring them in. We like to get them to sit and play our stuff, and as well, they can kind of tell us, you know, there's nothing truer than something said by a child, because they don't beat around the bush. They don't process, oh, I have to say this, that, or the other. They'll just tell you as it is. Good, bad, ugly, you know, whatever it is, they will just tell you straight, and it's great. They are the best critics.
And out of the new wave of Lego Dimension characters, do you have any particular favourites? I mean, we're standing in front of Sonic here, who looks fabulous.
Yeah, I have, well, for me, Sonic's he's an iconic character, has been for 25 years, but for me, the fact that we've got Sloth from the Goonies, that is an amazing minifigure. But again, you know, anyone that knows me knows that I love two things. I love comics, and I also love the Wizarding World. So, you know, having, you know, Harry and Voldemort in Dimensions is great. Obviously, there's a Hermione pack as well coming, and also, you know, having Newt and Fantastic Beasts in the game. You know, they're my things, I think. And so, you know, Goonies and then the Wizarding World packs sort of like, they tick my box. But then the Gremlins characters are so cool. You know, Gizmo and Gizmo and Stripe, those two minifigures are just incredible. The team over at Lego did a great job. So there's too many. There really are too many brilliant things, but everyone's got their favourite.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey, you guys!